Coping with COVID. Updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC. Healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Trey Taylor.
Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Trey Taylor, and you are watching Coping with Trey Taylor. It's second Thursday, and that means it's time for No Justice, No Peace from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. I'm Trey Taylor, and today we'll hear about the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Court Program. Director GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver joins us with information on those services and how you can take advantage of them. Thank you so much, Dr. McKeiver, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Then last month, we shared with you funding information that was presented by the Solicitor's Office for nonprofits. Today, Meredith Matthews joins us. She is the program director with Sisters of Charity, and she's going to share what that organization has to offer. Meredith, thank you so much for joining us and for all you guys do for our community.
Thanks so much, Trey. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Coming up, that and more on No Justice, No Peace from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. But first, your COVID community updates. Pfizer plans to seek approval to administer a COVID booster shot to 5 through 12-year-olds. Test results show a significant booster in the immune systems of elementary school-aged children, which they think is needed with the surge of the more contagious BA.2 variant. iGrowOwl Manufacturing Company will invest $2.6 million to build a facility to test self-driving vehicles for ride-sharing and delivery around the world. iGrowOwl has partnerships with Ford, VW, Walmart, and Lyft, and will launch in Greenville later this year. And folks in the Eau Claire area are getting an opportunity to get fresh produce. Food boxes are delivered weekly and cost $10 and $12. SNAP benefits are accepted for payment, and those interested can stop by Hyatt Park April 20th between 4 and 7 p.m. to sign up. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date list of times, dates, and location for COVID testing and vaccinations in and around South Carolina. Visit scdheck.gov for more information. Now, you can also still get your 5 free rapid self-COVID tests by logging into covidtest.gov. Even if you got 5 a couple of months ago, you can now get 4 or 5 additional. Also, scrolling at the bottom of the screen will be information throughout the show about COVID testing in and around South Carolina, including vaccines from the VA. Anyone that is in the military can go to the VA to get your COVID vaccine. Kroger pharmacies are among those that are offering COVID vaccinations. Check the screen for details about that. CVS is also offering vaccinations at locations including the Target stores. Walgreens is offering COVID vaccines and free N95 masks. Plus, Brooklyn Baptist Church's, their COVID vaccine clinic is still open 7 days a week. And if you need help getting your COVID vaccine and getting your appointment, you can go by the Comet bus system. They offer vaccines at the main location at Sumter and Laurel Street. Also, the online registration help is available at Get Set Up. You can call the folks at Get Set Up and they can get you set up for your COVID vaccine and your appointment. Now, there are also some financial resources available. FEMA still offers COVID funeral reimbursement if you have someone that has if you have someone that has passed away due to COVID. Also, SC Bar Association and SC Legal Services has a website for rental and mortgage help. Lexington County has their bill assistance program, and SC Housing and Dominion Energy has a energy rental and utility assistance program. SC Hopes has a 24-hour assistance line from the South Carolina Department of Mental Health. So if you know someone that is having a challenge coping with COVID, please have them to contact SC Hopes. Now, the Brooklyn Lakeview Empowerment Center is holding registration for free diabetes management classes. They start in May, and there are several job opportunities available, including at Spectrum and the City of Columbia. They have an open house every Wednesday from 8 until 11 a.m. at their 2198 Colonial Drive location. And then, of course, today is the final day for the Solicitor's Office No Judge, No Jail warrant resolution event. That's happening from 3 until 6 o'clock today at the M.L. Smith Community Center located on Farrow Road. They've had a successful event the last 2 days, yesterday and Monday. And if you or someone you know has an outstanding warrant, please stop by, get your life back together, and start off this Easter holiday a great way, a right way, at the No Judge, No Jail warrant resolution event from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. I'm Trey Taylor, and you're watching No Justice, No Peace from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. As you may see, I'm babysitting today. My 3-year-old had a little stomach virus, so of course she was quiet all day until now. Anyway, listen, we are streaming live on the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office page. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. So many great resources on the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's page on Facebook. And again, we are streaming live on that page right now. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made production page. That's the home of Coping with COVID. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Not only will you be able to find out when we go live, which is Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday from SCDHEC, Thursday, like today, from No Justice, No Peace, and on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, a lot of great resources on that page. We're also streaming live on YouTube. Please go over there and hit the subscribe button. We've been doing the show for 2 years now in March, so you can see all of our past shows and check out all of the many resources and information and content that is available on the Trey Taylor YouTube page. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Don't forget that if you have a comment or a question, please go to the comment section, and we will be so glad to give your question to our guest. Danielle Lake says hello. She says, I hear your little helper. She's not helping, Danielle. She's not helping at all. The day of the Easter egg hunt, she gets sick. I don't know, but I know she's going to be okay. Thank you for asking, Danielle. I appreciate it. Please post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses. Second Thursday means No Justice, No Peace from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. And today, GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver joins us to discuss their treatment court programs. Thank you so much, Dr. McKeiver. We appreciate you joining us today.
Good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. First, tell us, what is the treatment court?
Treatment courts are pretty much as they say, treatment, court supervised. And we have several different types of treatment courts. They're also known as specialty courts, but they are, as the name implies, treatment, targeted treatment, that's court supervised.
Okay. All right. So what does it entail? What does it entail? What are the specialty courts?
Great question. And our circuit, Fifth Circuit, has been very, very fortunate to be able to offer several treatment courts, several specialty courts. At this time, we provide that service for our juveniles. So we have a juvenile drug treatment court program, ages 13 to 17 or 18. We also have an adult drug treatment court program, and that average age is probably about 30 to 57, in between there. We also provide a mental health treatment court targeted to other mental health disorders, a DUI treatment court, which is DUI second and above, and our veterans treatment court, which, as the name implies, is specifically for our veterans. And these specialty courts, treatment courts, target populations, these specific populations that are involved, have cases in our lower courts or general sessions court within the Fifth Circuit. And so we realized that many of those crimes, offenses that have been committed were related to substance use and or other mental health disorders.
Right. And so these are courts that I guess target, and not only target, but provide treatment specifically for those different demographics, because I'm sure the treatment would be different based on the demographic.
Correct. For example, our juvenile drug treatment court, we do more of a harm reduction where we do some behavior modification. We look at the educational component. What can we do to assist the school district? Do we need a psychoeducational evaluation? So it's different. We do family counseling for our juveniles and the substance use mental health. Our veterans treatment court, also, it's what we would call a co-occurring court, because we find that our veterans generally present with substance use and mental health disorders. So we partner with the VA, and they will receive a spectrum, a menu of services that they're eligible for, whether it's housing, compensated work therapy, trauma-informed, like PTSD. Trauma-informed care that's peculiar to that population. And the same with the adult drug court. We do substance use as well. And the wraparound services you will find are across the board for all the programs. So not only is it substance use and or mental health treatment focused, we also do wraparound services, whether it is going to be parenting classes, coordinating with DSS, whether it is coordinating with voc rehab for employment, enhancing that employment ability to get back into the workforce. So we partner with a lot of people. We're looking at it from a holistic perspective. And we have found, the research has proven over the years that it does more to have this holistic approach than just incarceration. So we look at the whole person. How can we reinsert them effectively into the community and stop that revolving door?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We've got to, I love that the solicitor's office offers treatment programs, and thus the name, to help people get back on track, as you say, to stop the revolving door, because they can go in jail, come right back out, and they've got the same issues they had when they went in there before.
And you are so correct. And that is one of the peculiar things about our treatment courts. Our participants, and we call them clients, once they come to us from the court system, they become our clients. The clients are those who have multiple episodes of incarceration, very long rap sheets sometimes. And these are members of our community whom some other interventions might not want to deal with or don't have the resources to deal with, but they are our typical treatment court clients.
All right. Well, let's go through the slides. We're talking to Dr. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver. She is the director of the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Court Program, and we're talking today about exactly what they offer. Let's go to the slides and see how do people access? Well, of course, we talked about what the program was. If we can go to the next slide. The types of treatment courts, you talked about that. And eligibility. I do want to talk about that. Who is eligible for the treatment courts?
Anyone who has been charged in the Fifth Circuit with a nonviolent offense by statute. And so if you have a charge in your magistrate or municipal court or in general sessions here in Richland County or in Kershaw County, then you're eligible to apply.
Okay.
And I can elaborate. I didn't know if you wanted me to continue.
Yeah.
And so we see across the board, a lot of people think, okay, well, drug court, mental health court, but you would be surprised, or some of our audience might be surprised, that charges like shoplifting are substance use related. People steal in order to resell to support their drug habit.
Right.
Or you might find the regular property crimes, auto breaking, where they will cruise around, they see something that might be seems expensive, and they'll get into that car in order to sell, to go buy them a $20 bag or whatever their habit is. And so there are a lot of charges that we see that the population might not think would be drug related and or other mental health disorder related. But it's more than just possession of drugs that we take. Forgery is another charge, you name it, shoplifting, like I said. And even when we come to our DUI treatment courts, and we take the DUI second and above, these are people who have been in and out of court, their first DUI, second DUI, third DUI, and for whatever reason, whether they say, hey, I still got to go to work or what have you, they keep driving under the influence. Our veterans present a slightly different picture, especially those with combat experience. And they come back with that trauma, related post-traumatic stress disorder. Noises might be a trigger for them. And so they tend to be, when those triggers are present and those triggers go off, then they react sometimes aggressively, or they might not be that perfect citizen at that particular time. And so we have to go ahead and address the issue, get them diagnosed if it's traumatic brain injury or any other kinds of disorders that are combat related. And we even take veterans that might not have seen combat because they've still served our country. Right. And as such, they deserve an opportunity. And in that program, we link them with the benefits that they are eligible for, that they have earned. Housing assistance, for veterans. We have so many homeless veterans here in Richland County. Yeah. And unfortunately, we have to get them through the court system, some of them, in order to plug them into some of these services that they are eligible for, they have earned. So pretty much you get in a nutshell.
Yeah. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver joins us. She is with the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Court Program. She's been explaining to us about the program. She was talking about eligibility. The other two, qualifications for eligibility would be also to have a willingness to participate, a motivation to participate, and also a willingness to stay within the whole program.
Right. The motivation to change is important, and there's a scale for that. There is a screening for that because we want them to be able to see this thing through. It's not a get out of jail free card. And that becomes very important.
It's not a quick turnaround because you're talking about changing long-term behavior.
That's correct. And one of the key components why you'll hear that treatment court works is that we keep our participants, our clients are with us for at least 12 months. It takes them that long to settle into that recovery lifestyle, to get those things back that they've lost, to become, again, a productive partner in community, a productive citizen in community. So we keep them with us. They stay with us for a little while. So they have to really commit to what we call the heavy lifting, once they get into the program. And for many of our participants, it's a very new way of life, and it's not easy. They go through their withdrawals. Yeah. They go through the stigma, coming out, saying, hey, I've been an addict, and working through the rejection from the community and the family members, because trust has been lost. Yeah. And it takes a little while to rebuild that trust. And that's why they are with us for a little while. Now, our young people the youth are not with us that long, about 9 months, give or take, because their minds are still malleable. So we plant a seed, we help the parents. So the kids don't stay with us that long, but the adults do. And I tell you something that's peculiar also to treatment courts is that once they complete, we have a graduation. And people will say, but they graduating from a court program, you would be surprised. A lot of times for many of our participants, this is the first time they've ever completed anything. And so we have a graduation. And this is one time where you will see our treatment court judge, he will come down from the bench and he will embrace those graduates.
Oh, wow.
And they, the family comes. And if I could just give you a story, can I just a very short story?
Yes.
I had, and I'll never forget, I had a client, a participant in drug court. And, sometimes the human side of us says, this is going to be a tough nut to crack. Let's just see how this goes.
Right.
And this participant was with us for almost 2 years. And it was not easy. Many times we'd had to bring him to that come to Jesus moment. Listen, you're facing a couple of decades in prison.
Right.
And when he finally completed, and I'm getting a little emotional, when he completed, he said to us, this is the first time I'm graduating from anything. Never graduated from high school, never graduated. And so we got together, the staff did, and we gave him a cap and gown, a very simple cap and gown. And some people were saying, oh, that kind of looks weird. But he came and this gentleman.
But that was something he needed. And that was so conscientious of you guys, Dr.
Early
McKeiver.
60s. Listen, he was in his early 60s and there was not a dry eye in that courtroom. And we hear from him. I hear from him from time to time, and one of the things I wanted to tell you is that these participants, these clients are going to be our neighbors. Yes. They're going to be the people in our community.
Yes.
What better way to give them a shot where I like to say, where I won't be afraid for them to move into the house next door to me.
That's right.
And we get all across the socioeconomic strata, we get all types of clients. I don't want the viewers there to think that we only get the person on the corner of the street who stands there, and the term we use, geeking, looking for drugs. With the opioid pandemic, we get a wide cross-section of the members of our community who are addicted, who are dependent, chemically dependent, or have undiagnosed or untreated mental health disorders. And so it's really a great program. You can tell that it means a lot to me.
I can tell. I was going to say, I can tell. But I think that your passion about it is why it's so successful, and why the participants, the clients, are so engaged, so excited about doing it, because they realize that you are vested. And you really have their best interest at heart.
Yes. So one of the things I say to everyone and anyone who's listening, in America today, there is not one person who does not know someone who struggled with mental health, untreated mental health disorders, and or substance use. And it might only vary as to how close it comes to us, whether it's in our immediate family or extended family or neighborhood or churches. And so the time has long come where we need to stop stigmatizing mental health disorders and substance use.
Because listen, I think we all are probably one tragedy or one whatever away from going, it's a thin line, especially with the last 2 years that everyone has experienced with the twindemic, the pandemic. So we just need to be more conscientious. Danielle Lake says, Dr. McKeiver's heart and soul seem invested in her work. She says, thank you, ma'am, for your professional yet compassionate heart. Thank you, Danielle, for your comment. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. We're talking to Dr. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver with the treatment court from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. She's been telling us about the treatment court, who it's for, what it's for, and the details. We've got a couple of more slides I want to get through for you, Dr. McKeiver, so that we can continue to talk about the treatment court. Now, these are some of the things that have to happen with the participants, correct?
That's correct. The participant has to plead guilty to the charge. Now, that might seem to be a lot for anyone who wants to do this program. But legally, we have to get the charges transferred from the court of origin to our specific treatment court to give our treatment court judge that jurisdiction. But they plead guilty to the charge. However, they obtained what's called a deferred sentence. It means that while they are participating in a treatment court program, the court of origin says we will not move on this charge. It's an open charge. You're not sentenced as long as you're participating in this program. Mm-hmm. And the great thing about this is that once the person successfully complete, then the charges are dismissed. Wow. And then they are eligible to pursue an order of expungement. However, if they do not complete, then they go back to court, and then that court will sentence. Now, the question that I get from clients are, well, what will cause me to be sent back to court? And I will say, you have just got to walk away from this. Right. Because it's a treatment program. And one of the things we're going to do is that if that client stumbles, if that client falls back into drug use, we're going to step up treatment, whether it's going to be inpatient treatment, which is what we offer while they're still in the program. And one of our partners is Morris Village. They'll go to Morris Village for a period of 30 days, and then they'll come back. Do we need them to take them out of a living environment and put them into a sober living residence? Right. Those are some of the things that we want to do. Do we need to talk with the family? And we do a lot of times, listen, you don't need to give this loved one any cash. You need to lock away this thing. Or so we kind of work with the family. And so that's why it takes so long. But generally, the few times that we return a case to court is when that person just goes AWOL, or after 7-8 months, they're still not grasping what's going on. And one of the things too is that once they get that deferred sentence and they get into the program, they have certain things like random drug screening, to include weekend drug testing, or DUI participants have to wear that SCRAM monitor, that continuous alcohol monitoring, for the first couple of months while they're in the program. So there's a lot of responsibility that we place on the client to be where we ask you to be. And that's a part of being in the community, just being a good citizen. They have to attend court sessions, 2-3 court sessions, which we call review hearings, every month. And at that court session, the judge is going to review what has taken place since the last time they were before the judge. What were the results of your latest drug screens? And the judges are so good. They'll remember, how's it going with your son? Did he play in the game? You said you were going to watch the game. And so for treatment courts, it's a non-adversarial court setting. We have judges, and they understand that it's non-adversarial. We have an assistant solicitor that sits on the team. We have a defense attorney from the public defender's office that sits on the team. You have your program coordinator that sits on the team. And in the case of the juvenile drug treatment court, we have DJJ, a social worker, school resource officer. We liaison with the school district. And so you still get that holistic kind of situation. But when you have a judge that's asking you, well, what was the score? How many points did your kid score? Did you feel good about it? And that's the kind of interaction. Or on the flip side, listen, you didn't do what we asked you. We've been asking you to do this. We're going to have to give you a sanction. When you satisfy that sanction, come back to court and we'll talk again. So it's a whole different phenomenon. It's a whole different kind of program than a lot of people are used to. One of the other things we ask is that they comply with their treatment plan and the referrals that we make, whether it's to voc rehab, whether it's to get their GED, whether it's to get family counseling. So we do tap into a lot of agencies in the community to provide that kind of holistic approach. And
all of these are services that not only that they need, but they may not be able to get anywhere else. But these are life-changing opportunities. These are life-changing opportunities that they have.
Absolutely. And one of the things is, my mom used to say, the greatest thing is to know. And
Yes.
a lot of our community, people in our community aren't even aware of the resources that are
Right.
out there. And
Exactly.
the other thing that we have is that we can say, okay, we're going to call so and so, the court is behind you, and you can get things done. And I don't want to for instance, there's a particular agency, and if we say, okay, the judge, I'll call through, the judge would like so and so screened because we're having court in 2 more weeks, and the judge would like to make a decision. Get her done.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah.
provide them with that kind of impetus. So even though it's court supervised and there might be a negative connotation, it really isn't. We are there to use the force, the power of the court to get them the help that they need.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And again, these are things that they may not be able to get otherwise. Or even if the resources are there, you've got the motivation and the support
Yes,
to go ahead and get
yes,
it done. That's what I
yes.
think is
And
a big thing.
yes, yes, even to the point, and I'll tell you, when we try to plug people into healthcare, there are a few agencies that will work with us to provide diabetes screening because you have to be healthy, not only sober, drug free, and be stabilized with your mental health, but your body needs to be healthy as well.
Right.
Are you having pains? Is there an old injury? Do you need to see a doctor? Do you need to get an X-ray? What's going on? Because we don't want that pain then to set you up for an opioid addiction, getting it on
Exactly.
the streets.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we do all of that. We refer them for dental care
That's good stuff.
where we can.
GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver joins us. She is discussing the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Court Program. I know we've got a couple of more slides, and I want to make sure we get through all of this information. Dr. McKeiver, how do people access this? I know you say they've
Oh,
got to come through the court, and it is court appointed and all of that. But does your office choose people to participate based on their charges, or if you have a charge, is this offered to you anyway?
great question. Now, our referrals generally come to us from the solicitor's office. Excuse me. So an assistant solicitor might have a case, and in talking with the victim and talking with the defendant, realizes, hey, there is an underlying issue here. So we'll get a call or an email from the solicitor's office. I'd like this person to be screened. The defense attorneys will call us as well. I have a client we think may be appropriate. So the public defender's office or the private bar. We also get referrals from the community. Family members will call and they will say, my son, my husband, my daughter,
Right.
or a friend picked up this charge, but they've been struggling with XYZ. And so they will refer us and we'll walk them through the family. Okay, do they have the charge? What's the charge? Give us a contact number. Let's reach out to that person. And so those are the three primary areas that we get. The magistrate's office will call us. That criminal court clerk might call us as well to say, I have someone with a charge that I think might be eligible for the program, or they say could use this program. That's the term. But the court system is very engaged with referrals, but we want the community to know that if you have a loved one, a family member, a friend that is just been locked up, is in the detention center, that you want to see what's out there, give us a call. Let's talk. We won't know until we talk to you what can be done. And if we can't do anything, we might know other avenues that you could try as well.
We'll look at the information to contact GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver. Dr. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver is on the screen. You can call that number. She just said give them a call. You can find out more information about the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office treatment programs at their website, scsolicitor.org. I know, let's go through the rest of your slides, and then I want to know about any cost other than the cost of your time and effort. Is there a cost. We can go to the next slide. We've already gone through that. We can go to the next slide, please. Is there another slide?
That might be it. But we can talk a little bit about,
okay.
Yes, I think so. There wasn't any. We talked about the eligibility criteria as well. There is a participation fee.
Okay.
Once a person gets into the program, not at the time of screening, once they get into the program, there's a participation fee of $125. Now, we can break that up in payments over the months that they're here, or they can be screened to see if they qualify under the indigency guidelines. And then if they qualify as indigent, then that participation fee, you do community service instead of paying that fee.
Mm-hmm. Wow. All right. So the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Program is open and available, and it's open throughout the year, correct, Dr. McKeiver?
That's correct. That is correct. And I just wanted to plug that we do partner with, for our treatment component, we partner with LRADAC, that's Lexington Richland Alcohol and Drug Abuse Council. We partner with Columbia Area Mental Health. We also partner with the Insights Educational and Treatment Services Agency to provide treatment for us as well. The Columbia VA healthcare system provides treatment for veterans as well. And we do partner with Voc Rehab. That's they are tremendous in helping us with work keys, and just a few other places. The Free Health Clinic, we partner with Mars Village, and so we have quite a few partners who we can call on. When we say partners, we can call on, and they will assist. They will. So we don't do it by ourselves.
Yes. Awesome. You can find out more information. Again, the information is on the screen. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver, Director of the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office Treatment Court Program. If you know someone or you are someone that needs these services to avoid jail time, some great services, some great initiatives for you to get your life back on track. Please contact them at either the phone number or the website. GayeLois Siddon-McKeiver, Dr. McKeiver, thank you so much. This is such an amazing sort of programs. And as one of the viewers said, you can tell that you were passionate about it. And I know that's why the program is such a success. Listen, we were having some technical difficulties getting you on, but you were worth the wait. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. A few months ago, the Solicitor's Office held an event for nonprofits and community organizations, exposing them to various funding opportunities in our community. Now, last month, right here on No Justice, No Peace, we spotlighted the DOT. Today, more info on funding from the Sisters of Charity. Coming up next, we'll talk to Meredith Matthews about what they offer for community and nonprofits. That's coming up next on No Justice, No Peace on Coping with Trey Tailor. I'm Trey Tailor. We'll be right back.
The Comet gives me a reliable source of transportation.
It's very convenient to me, and they have wonderful drivers.
It's clean, and it builds community. It's fun to meet people.
It makes me feel like really independent. It's just fun.
It's always going to be there, and it gets me everywhere I need to go.
We try to ride every single day. Comedy is our livelihood.
Computers, they're a part of our everyday life. But when they're not working, they're an everyday problem. So call Computers Unique, your everyday solution. 803-351-5821. Is your computer running slow? Won't turn on? Do you need a screen replaced? Or maybe you just need another computer? Well, Computers Unique is your one-stop shop for all your computer needs. They have a wide variety of new and pre-owned PCs, Macs, and tablets. So call Computers Unique, Dutch Square Mall. 803-351-5821. 803-351-5821.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Aiken-Cochran. As Miss America, I know that taking care of yourself is important. Part of taking care of your health is knowing if you're at risk of type 2 diabetes. Prediabetes is serious and puts you at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Visit inittogethersc.org. Take an online test to find out your risk and join the Diabetes Prevention Program.
I'm Trey Taylor, and you are watching Coping with Trey Taylor. It's No Justice, No Peace from the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. We're actually streaming live on the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office page on Facebook. Please go over there, hit like and share and follow. Find out when we go live every second Thursday and find out all of the great information, just like the treatment court program that we just heard about that's going on at the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made Production page on Facebook. That's the home of Coping with COVID. Please go over there and hit like and share and follow. Get notifications as to when we go live, Wellness Wednesday, and then on Thursday and also on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also streaming live on the Tailor Made Production YouTube channel. We've been doing the show for 2 years now. Can't believe that. And we have all of the shows archived there where you can check out all of the great resources, information, and more on Coping with COVID and Coping with Trey Taylor. We also have a presence on Instagram and also on Twitter. Last month, we highlighted the Department of Transportation, one of the many agencies that offer funding for nonprofits and community organizations. The seminar was open to all of the community organizations and sponsored by the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office. Last week, like I said, last month, we talked about the DOT. Today, Meredith Matthews joins us from the Sisters of Charity. They were also present at the event presented by the Solicitor's Office. And today, we're going to find out what they've got going on. Meredith, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Good to see you too. Please tell me about Sisters of Charity. What does it do? What is it? What's going on?
Yeah. So the Sisters of Charity Foundation of South Carolina is a ministry of the Sisters of Charity Health System. And in the spirit of the Sisters of Charity of St. Augustine, our mission is to strategically use resources to reduce poverty in South Carolina. And we do this a couple of ways. So we have grant making to nonprofits across the state. We conduct research on poverty issues, advocating for stronger policies, and providing resources just to the greater community as it relates to poverty.
Okay, great. Now, we talked about the fact that you guys were at the funding opportunity program that the Solicitor's Office had a couple of months ago. And, many of these community organizations are doing the grassroots work to do just what you're saying, just to help folks in our community. But oftentimes, these smaller community organizations and even many of the nonprofits don't either have access or know about where the access is.
Absolutely. And kind of navigating that space of grant and funding opportunities. It's a lot, right? And meanwhile, you're trying to, as a person that's doing community work or running a nonprofit, trying to do your work. And then at the same time, try to get funded too. So, really we try to be, a source of information, not just for folks that are seeking funding from us, but maybe for folks that aren't quite ready for funding or just need information.
Yeah. So tell us what types of funding opportunities are there from Sisters of Charity?
Yeah. So for us, our grant making is specifically for nonprofits that are doing work to reduce poverty in South Carolina. And we know that poverty is multidimensional, right? So all the way from those systems that keep people trapped in the cycle of poverty down to how those systems play out in the day-to-day experiences of folks that are just doing what they have to do to function in a world that feels increasingly hostile to people that are experiencing poverty, right? So our grant, as all of that, what poverty affects is so vast. Nonprofits,
it is.
Right. The work that nonprofits do to serve people experiencing poverty is also vast. So we have three main focus areas: immediate needs, breaking the cycle, and systems level change. And I kind of look at those three categories like stability, mobility, and transformation. So that's, that immediate needs, that's for organizations that are just meeting those fundamental needs of people experiencing poverty. Breaking the cycle, of course, just what it sounds like, organizations that are doing work to break the cycle of poverty by creating and sustaining pathways to economic mobility and self-sufficiency for folks. And finally, we also fund organizations that are doing work that is influencing and guiding change in those structural systems that have created or sustained and reinforced the marginalization of people experiencing poverty.
Yeah. So if people are, so it's nonprofits, so you have to have a 501c3, you have to have all of your paperwork in order and everything to qualify for some of these grants?
Right. So you want to be a 501c3 or, for a grassroots group that's maybe not, doesn't have a 501c3 yet, but wants to be able to accept funding. There's things that you can do, like get a sponsor organization. So another nonprofit can apply for a grant on your behalf as the fiscal agent of your work, right? So I think that's a great way for groups, because not everybody has to be a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
In order to be able to accept funding, having a partnership with somebody who is a functioning nonprofit and that can do all that back office stuff. Is great, especially for a grassroots organization.
Now, as far as the grants are concerned, is the grant window open all the time, or are there certain times?
That's a great question. So for those immediate needs grants, we have 2 grant cycles, one in the spring and one in the fall.
Okay.
And spring is for organizations with operating budgets less than $500,000. That deadline to submit an inquiry just passed. But for organizations with operating budgets greater than 500,000, again, this is just for immediate needs. The window to submit an inquiry will open June 10th and be open until August the 10th.
Okay.
And if we invite folks on a rolling basis, right? So you submit an inquiry, and then we review it. And if you're invited, you can go ahead and start working on the application up until the deadline date. And for breaking the cycle and systems level change, that application is open. We fund those in the fall as well. So right now you can submit an inquiry. You've got and that deadline is August the 10th as well. And then those are funded in November. Yeah.
Okay. We're talking to Meredith Matthews. She is with the Sisters of Charity, telling us about their funding opportunities for community organizations and nonprofits. We are highlighting organizations that were presented at the Solicitor's Office event a couple of months ago. Attorney Byron Gibson, who is the Fifth Circuit Solicitor, had the idea after another event to just kind of bring people together to present to them some of the information that they didn't know about, that they needed to know about. Some of these folks that, like I said, are in the community really doing some great work in these little pockets. And they're just doing it on blood, sweat, and tears because they didn't know about it. So Sisters of Charity is one of those organizations that was at that event. How much funding can they request?
So that ranges, and part of it is dependent on the category. So immediate needs, all those grants, regardless of your budget size or your program type, you can receive $5,000. And for breaking the cycle and systems level change, again, those can be kind of depending on what you want funded. We can fund general operating support. We can fund capacity building. We can fund program specific things. So those will range anywhere from $10,000 up to $40,000.
Is there help, Meredith? I know a lot of folks, a lot of these organizations don't know how to do a grant proposal. I'm sure when they go to the website, there's kind of step-by-step stuff, but do you guys provide any assistance to help people through the process?
For sure. Absolutely. So when you go to our website on sistersofcharity.com, of course, it walks you through the process of determining your eligibility and how to apply and submit an inquiry. But one of my favorite things to do is to be tech support, to walk somebody through, how to answer a question, right? To figure out how they can demonstrate what they do and why they do it, right? To really connect those dots between the community need and the work that they're doing. So absolutely, if you need help when you're applying from us, then we can talk for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And of course, we're looking at your website right here. So if people want more information, is it as simple as going on the website, Meredith?
Yes, ma'am. So if you go to sistersofcharity.com, if you go on our grants tab, then that's really the best way to get started to learn. So as you scroll down a little bit, you'll come to some information about what we fund, what we don't fund. And then if you keep going past that, then you'll see another cool infographic. I think it's after each of those categories. See a cool infographic that'll take you through the process. So first you take the eligibility quiz.
Right.
And it's really a checklist of what we require for an organization to submit an inquiry. Take the eligibility quiz, then you look at the pages for each of those 3 categories we just went through: immediate needs, breaking the cycle, and systems change. Determine your category, and then there's a link to click to go to our grants portal and submit your inquiry. So it's really as easy as that. Another thing I love on our new and improved website is that we've got a map of the state of South Carolina that shows all of our grantee partners. So if you click on any county or select it from the drop-down menu, you can see every organization in that county that we fund. And I think it's really cool for a lot of reasons. Of course, if you're in need of help, you can see in your area some organizations doing work. If you're a nonprofit looking for folks to partner with or to learn from, you can see there. Or if you're just wondering, I wonder where my kind of services fit in, you can look and see and learn more about organizations and that we fund that might line up with the work that you do.
Yeah, great. Meredith Matthews joins us. She's the program director at Sisters of Charity. She's been sharing with us the information concerning grant funding and opportunities for charities, for nonprofits and community organizations. And again, you can see her contact information, her email address, and the website if you want more information about funding from Sisters of Charity. Hey, Meredith, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for all of the work that you guys are doing in our community. And you'll be hearing more from people, hopefully.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Trey.
Right.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We appreciate you too. Listen, if you have a story or initiative that could help someone cope with COVID, please email booking@copingwithtreytailor.com. The information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreytailor@gmail.com. We would love for you to be a proud sponsor, just like the Fifth Circuit Solicitor's Office, Attorney Byron Gibson. They sponsor No Justice, No Peace every second Thursday. Also, Wellness Wednesday is sponsored by the Diabetes Action Council. In it together, SC and the Department of Heart Disease and Health Management at the Department of Health and Environmental Control, DHEC. Other sponsors include the Comet Bus System, Agape Counseling and Training Services, Computers Unique Dutch Square Mall, Javis Tax Services, and Black Pages Black Expo. The Columbia Black Expo is May 20th and 21st, featuring Anthony Anderson, Kiara Kiki Sheard, and more. So go to blackexposouth.com for more information about Black Expo. Now, coming up tomorrow, we're going to talk with Lakeisha and Kevin Raspberry from Midtown Market. They have launched a bodega in downtown Columbia. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And then next week, we're going to talk with Nancy Smith from the South Carolina State Fair. The Fair Food Drive-Thru is coming back. The third one. Count them. 1, 2, 3. It was so successful, they're going to do it again. So we're going to talk with Nancy Smith. And then also next week, Carl Solomon and Aaron Bishop talk about how they are honoring some people in our community. That and so much more coming up next week on Coping with Trey Tailor. As usual, I leave you with a devotional reading. We've been reading Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams with Agape Counseling and Training Services. This is a great devotional book, which is filled with some of her journal writings and some scriptural readings. And today, this says, child, and this is God talking to us, remember, I want what you want as long as you desire a closer relationship with me and desire to maintain that relationship. As you maintain that relationship, our spirits become one, and you desire what I want. I will increase and you will decrease. I don't always work the way you think or do what you think I should do, but know for sure I am working, or I have already done the best thing for you. All I need is for you to do your part. Just trust me. Oh, Meredith has given us a snap. That's Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams. This is such a great devotional. You know, last year I was reading from Jesus Calling, and I still got my Jesus Calling right here. But I like them both, but I really like this because this is it sounds like he's talking to you. It's just such a personal, like I said, writing, scriptural based, and also from her journal writing. So that's Conversations with God from Cheryl Mims Williams. Listen, I'm Trey Taylor. Thank you again so much for joining us today on Coping with Trey Taylor. Until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings. Stay well, take care, God bless, be safe, and don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. We'll see you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. In it together and the South Carolina Diabetes Advisory Council, presenting Wellness Wednesday every Wednesday on Coping with COVID. The City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Services. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their lives. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Services at agapects.com. And Palmetto Media Connections, connecting media and communities together. Coping with COVID, brought to you by SCDHEC. In it together, the Diabetes Advisory Council, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections.
Coping with COVID with Trey Taylor.